You know that sound, right? That unmistakable brop of a two-stroke engine.
Oh, yeah.
And you just feel that raw energy. Maybe you picture yourself hitting a big berm on a motocross track.
Definitely. It's a unique feeling.
Motocross is, it's more than just racing, isn't it? It's a whole experience.
Totally.
And today, we're diving into something interesting.
Mm.
Can that sort of classic simplicity, that two-stroke feel, really compete, dominate even, with all the latest tech?
That's the big question.
So our mission for this deep dive is to really get into the 2026 Yamaha YZ 125.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We're going to unpack what it's all about, its core identity, check out the features, see how it measures up against the competition, and figure out why Yamaha engineered it for, well, what they call explosive power and razor-sharp handling.
Right.
Basically, we want you listening to walk away knowing this bike inside out, whether you're already racing or just fascinated by motocross.
And the thing that grabs you right away with this YZ125, the 2026 model, is that engine. It's a 125cc liquid-cooled two-stroke. That's the core appeal, isn't it? It's designed to bring back that two-stroke passion, but with, modern performance.
Unfiltered.
Okay, so let's start right there. The engine, the heart of it all. What exactly has Yamaha cooked up for the 2026 YZ125?
Well, it centers around that 125cc two-stroke, liquid-cooled, of course.
Right.
And the numbers are pretty impressive for its class. We're looking at roughly 40 horsepower.
40 horsepower on a 125.
Yeah, around 9,000 RPM.
Yeah.
And about 15.5 pound-feet of torque.
Okay.
Now, 40 horse might not sound huge compared to like a 250 or 450.
Sure.
But for a 125 two-stroke, it's how it delivers it. That's the key. Yamaha talks about explosive acceleration.
Right, that's snap.
Exactly. That instant, almost like a violent rush you get out of corners. It's something you just don't quite replicate on a four-stroke. It feels super direct.
Explosive acceleration.
Yeah.
Yeah, riders definitely want that kind of immediate feedback. But with that much instant punch in a light bike, how do they make it manageable? Not just for the pros, That's a really good point.
Yeah.
And that's where their updated power valve system, the YPVS, comes in.
Okay, how does that help?
It's crucial, actually. It works to optimize the torque, particularly in the low end and mid-range.
Ah, so better control coming out of corners.
Precisely. Better control, better traction, especially when things get tight or technical on the track.
Yeah.
Plus, you always have that inherent two-stroke advantage, right?
Lighter engine.
Yeah, lighter, more compact compared to a four-stroke, and that directly translates into better maneuverability, more agility.
So it's not just power, it's usable power and how the whole bike feels.
Yeah.
You mentioned lightweight and agile handling.
Yeah.
How do they achieve that?
A big part of it is the frame. It's a lightweight aluminum frame.
Okay.
And it's not just about using aluminum. It's engineered very specifically to balance strength with low weight.
Yeah.
That directly boosts agility and stability, too.
And the overall weight, what are we talking?
It comes in around 98 pounds, so what's that, about 44.5 kilos?
Pretty light.
Very light. And you feel that immediately when you're flicking it around, over jumps, through berms, dealing with rough terrain. It makes the handling feel quick, responsive.
So it feels nimble.
Exactly. Nimble and intuitive, which is great whether you're experienced or still moving up.
Okay, but to really use that power and agility, you need the control systems to match, right? Suspension, brakes. What's Yamaha done there?
Absolutely critical. The 2026 YZ125 gets a top-tier suspension setup. It's fully adjustable KYB.
KYB, yeah, that's quality stuff.
It is. You've got an inverted front fork, so the stronger part is up top. Better rigidity, better feel, and a rear monoshock.
Standard good stuff for motocross.
Right. And being fully adjustable means you can fine-tune the damping and rebound for different tracks, different conditions, gives you excellent handling, keeps the wheels planted.
And brakes. Got to stop sometime.
Definitely. It has high-performance hydraulic disc brakes, front and rear, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
They provide really strong stopping power.
Essential for aggressive riding.
Totally. For late braking, quick changes of line, or just scrubbing speed safely on descents, these are race-ready components tuned specifically for motocross, balancing comfort and performance.
So the mechanical sounds sorted. What about the look and feel? Aesthetics, ergonomics, they matter a lot on the track too.
They absolutely do. Yamaha's gone for a very sleek, race-inspired look, but it's functional too.
How so?
Well, the fairing is aerodynamic. Designed to cut down on drag a bit, helps with high-speed stability. It looks fast because it is meant to be fast.
Makes sense.
And the ergonomics are well thought out. The seat height is relatively low for a race bike, around 37.6 inches, and the controls feel intuitive. They've designed it to be accessible, comfortable for a good range of rider sizes.
And the Yamaha look.
Oh yeah, it's unmistakably Yamaha. That iconic blue and white color scheme, sharp, aggressive lines, but still quite minimalist. Looks sharp.
It sounds like they've managed to keep that raw two-stroke appeal while bringing in modern stuff. How does it blend that tech in without, overcomplicating it or losing that direct feel people love about two-strokes?
That's a delicate balance, isn't it? And Yamaha seems to handle it pretty well here. The tech isn't there just for the sake of it. It's meant to enhance the experience.
Like what specifically?
Okay, so you get a compact digital instrument cluster.
Ah, digital display.
Yeah, small, neat, gives you the essentials, speed, gear position, engine temp. Just enough info to be aware during a race without being distracting.
Useful.
And there's an improved liquid cooling system. Really important for keeping performance consistent, especially if you're doing long motos or back-to-back races. Heat management is key.
Definitely.
Plus, Yamaha's continually refining their engine tuning, so you get smoother throttle response, maybe slightly better traction control feel, just giving the rider a bit more confidence, a bit more edge.
Okay, this sounds like a really strong package on its own, but the 125 class is super competitive. How does the YZ125 actually stack up against its main rivals, like the KTM 125SX, the Husqvarna TC125, maybe even something different like the Honda CRF 150R?
Right, let's put it in context. Its direct two-stroke competitors are, as you said, the KTM 125SX and the Husky TC125. They're very closely related bikes, actually.
Sister companies, yeah.
Exactly. And then you have the Honda CRF 150R, which is a four-stroke, so a different beast altogether.
So performance-wise, how do they compare? That 40 HP figure for the Yamaha.
Yeah, the 40 horsepower on the YZ is strong, but it's slightly less than what KTM and Husqvarna claim for their 125s. They're usually rated around, say, 43 horsepower.
Okay, a small difference.
A small difference on paper, yeah. Still very competitive in the 125 class. Now, the Honda CRF 150R being a four-stroke is quite different. It's around 27 horsepower.
So much lower.
Yeah, but it delivers power much more smoothly, more linearly. It's often seen as maybe easier for less experienced riders, a different kind of feel.
And what about weight and handling across those bikes? Those small differences can really matter.
They really can. The YZ125 at about 98 pounds is just a touch heavier than the KTM and the Husky. They typically come in around 95 pounds.
The 8 pounds difference.
Roughly, yeah. Still very light overall, but lighter than the Honda CRF 150R, which is closer to 102 pounds.
Okay.
And there's frame material, too. The Yamaha and Honda use aluminum frames. KTM and Husqvarna use chromoly steel frames.
Different feel there, too, potentially.
Yeah, steel frames tend to offer a bit more flex, which some riders prefer, while aluminum is often seen as more rigid, maybe giving more precise feedback. It's a preference thing, often.
Any other key differences?
One practical thing is the fuel tank. The YZ125 has a 1.6-gallon tank.
Smaller.
Slightly smaller than the KTM and Husky, which usually have 1.8-gallon tanks. So maybe slightly less range, might need to refuel a bit sooner in long practice sessions.
Gotcha. Now, the big one. Price. These bikes aren't cheap. How does the YZ125 fit in cost-wise? Does that lower price mean you're giving something up?
This is actually a major strength for the YZ125. The estimated price is around $7,599.
Okay, and the others?
Well, that's significantly less than the KTM 125SX, which is usually around $8,299, and the Husqvarna TC125 is even a bit more, like $8,499.
Wow, that's a noticeable difference.
It really is. The Honda CRF 150R is cheaper, around $6,999. Again, it's a four-stroke, different category in some ways.
So Yamaha's offering serious value here.
It seems so. They've managed to keep the price competitive without really cutting corners on the core performance aspects like the engine, suspension, and brakes. You're getting a lot of bike for the money.
Okay, so let's try and summarize. If you pull everything together, what are the real standout advantages of this 2026 Yamaha YZ125?
Well, first off, it's that explosive two-stroke power. That feeling is undeniable and a huge draw.
Right.
Then you combine that with the lightweight, agile handling from the frame and overall design. Gives you confidence.
Makes it fun to ride.
Exactly. The advanced KYB suspension and hydraulic disc brakes are definitely pro-level components, offering great control. The sleek and functional design looks great, but also contributes to performance. And the integration of modern tech, like the digital display, enhances usability without ruining the two-stroke vibe.
At my price.
And absolutely, that competitive price point, it makes it a really compelling option in its class, offering exceptional value.
Right, but we need the balance to you. No bike is perfect for everyone. What are some potential drawbacks or things someone should consider with the 2026 YZ 125? Like, who is it maybe not for?
Good question. Balance is important. First, while 40p is great for a 125, it does have limited power compared to larger displacement bikes.
Obvious point, but worth saying.
Right. If you're competing in a high level against 250s or 450s, the pure horsepower might be a limiting factor.
So maybe not for pro-class racing against bigger bikes?
Probably not ideal for that, yeah. And because the power delivery is so aggressive, while great for intermediate riders moving up, it might be a bit much for a true beginner. Could be challenging to manage initially.
Makes sense.
What else? Well, there's just the nature of two strokes, right? The two-stroke maintenance requirements.
Mixing gas and oil.
Yep, mixing fuel. Plus, they generally require more frequent top-end rebuilds compared to four strokes. So more hands-on maintenance. If you just want to ride with minimal fuss, a four-stroke might be easier.
Okay. Anything else?
We mentioned it's slightly heavier than its direct two-stroke competitors, the KTM and Husky, only by about 3 pounds, but
racers count every pound.
some do, yeah. In really tight technical stuff, maybe, just maybe, you'd feel that tiny difference.
And the fuel tank?
The smaller fuel tank, 1.6 gallons. Fine for motocross races, but if you were thinking of longer trail rides or practice sessions, you'll be refueling more often than on the KTM or Husky.
Right. It's a motocross bike first and foremost.
Absolutely. It's not designed for long-distance comfort. The ergonomics are aggressive for control, not cruising.
Any other potential downsides? Maybe the tech?
Well, it's a minor point, maybe, but while the advanced features like the fully adjustable suspension are great, they could be a bit overwhelming for absolute beginners. Lots to learn to dial it in, right? And, more electronics like the digital display always carry a very slight risk of technical glitches down the line compared to a super simple setup, though Yamaha reliability is generally excellent.
Okay, so let's bring it home. What does this all mean for you listening out there, whether you're a rider or just curious?
I think the takeaway is that the 2026 Yamaha YZ 125 really is a compelling mix. It's got that classic two-stroke excitement, that raw feel.
Yeah, the fun factor?
Exactly. But blended with modern innovation, great suspension, good brakes, use for tech, it delivers genuinely competitive performance and handling.
And crucially, at a price point that makes it stand out. Significant value compared to its main rivals.
Definitely. It really hits a sweet spot.
So it leaves us with a final thought, something for you to maybe mull over. In a world where technology often seems to mean more complexity, more layers between the rider and the machine, what does the success, the continued refinement, the competitive edge of a pure two-stroke like this 2026 YZ 125 actually tell us?
Yeah. What does it say about the future of motocross? And maybe about that enduring appeal of just raw, simple, unadulterated power?
Something to think about.